looks like we're going to do a little cruising today. Get this bike set up here. Gotta figure out a better way here to get out of this garage here, because it's ends up being like a 5-point turn here. Move that other bike out of the way. Get the garage closed here. This is about the 6th motorcycle that I've bought over the years. This one happens to be a Suzuki VS1400, which is basically a 1396 cubic centimeter motor. I believe it's one of the largest motors that Suzuki makes on a cruiser. They do have a 1500 LC, which is a different type of boulevard cruiser. It's not a or I guess a more sportier version like this one is. And I just recently, last week, put on these chrome Z-bars. It basically took the wide, long handlebars it had on here and what they call buckhorns, and replaced it with these Z-bars, and it kind of lifts it up more chopper style. I got some blade mirrors here on order. Anyway, we're taking off here out of the neighborhood, heading down 14th Street over here, just out of the subdivision. I don't know who that guy is, but they just waved at me. But I think it's the neighbors next door. Might be the kid or the dad of the son that took my daughter over to the prom this past school year. But anyway, we're looking at John Knox Village right there. That's a retirement home there. It's been there for years and years and years. Cruising down Border Avenue here. Put on a little speed. You gotta wear those gloves there. I usually don't wear gloves when I'm cruising, especially with the original grips I had. That was the other thing I added to this bike, was these grips, and they're completely chrome aluminum grips, and there's no rubber on them at all as far as grip. So hot as it is outside, if you start to sweat a little bit, the grips here will kind of get moist, and then you lose your. Here, I got to make sure the camera's still attached to me. What I'm running right now is it's basically just a cell phone, an old cell phone I have, an HTC 8 or an HTC One 8M8 or something like that. It's an old phone I have that doesn't have service on it anymore, but it has a really good camera. Not as good as a GoPro, but it's pretty close. I can do pretty high-end 1080p HD on it. The only thing I don't have is I do have this, what I do have the camera strapped to is a body harness that stretches over my arms and back, and has a mount on the front or on the solar plexus area, and there's no dampening at all or any type of stabilization system built into this. So and this bike, I have the suspension stiff, pretty much stiff. Need to maybe loosen that up a little bit and soften that. Shocks in the back are adjustable, but it's almost like riding a hardtail, seems like, but it's not. It's a soft tail. This bike has a pretty good pucker factor when you get on it. Really good. It accelerates really quick. I prefer shifting really smooth and just gradually applying throttle to it, give you that smoother ride. Anyway, we're coming up here on Business 83 here in Weslaco. This corner right here has a not so good memory. I was going to work one day working for another company. I was in the turning lane there on the left, and a train was passing by, or had just passed by, and all the lights were blinking red, so everybody was taking their turns, and this is about 6:30 in the morning. I was taking off to work a little early, and I was in that turning lane over there, just like that white car, and everybody was taking turns, and a Winter Texan in a truck waves me forward and says, "Go ahead and go. It's your turn, buddy." So I went ahead and took the turn, and I usually gun it when I'm taking off. That day I hesitated a little bit, which probably saved my life, because I took that left turn across the intersection there. The Winter Texan that was in that truck was in the south lane, or the right side lane, and some Yahoo idiot in a car went right through that red light. And basically the bike I was riding back then was a Suzuki Boulevard, what they call a Boulevard now, and bigger bike, much heavier. And I took that bike and I basically dirt biked that bike and slid sideways on it. And I'll tell you, pretty much I wasn't happy. I didn't want to be late for work. I was kind of screaming inside my helmet that I'm alive, and I really wanted to go chase that guy down and give him a piece of my mind, but I went ahead and just kept going. And that was one of the events that happened on the motorcycle there. One of two could have been pretty bad near misses there. The other one happened on the expressway. They had one of those, I guess those orange and white construction barrels. Well, the barrel wasn't on the highway, but the base was, the black base, and it was sitting right in the middle of the lane, on the fast lane. And, you know, cars were able to straddle that. And so I, being on two wheels, wasn't able to straddle that. I hit that thing straight on. Ended up dirt biking that too, about 2 feet into the air, and landing the bike. And, you know, this being a huge bike, 800 pounds, if I would have hit that weighted base at any other angle other than head on, it would have shot me to the right or left, and that wouldn't have been good. So that's pretty much the two near misses I've had over the years, and it's been on the more recent bikes that I've had. Anyway, we're cruising down the boulevard here, downtown Westaco, going east. We're gonna end up hitting International Boulevard, what they call 1015, which is famous for all the 1015 sweet onions. They have a lot of, I guess, onion patches down there, whatever they call them. But we're cruising through town here by the glass shop. There's a lot of traffic going on right now. It's about 4 o'clock. People coming home from work or doing whatever. Not at work a little early. It's usually a pretty quiet road. I usually take this route a lot, getting to 1015 to try to get out into the open roads, away from all the traffic and stuff like that. There are some other back roads I can take south from where I live, but the roads are pretty bad, a lot of potholes, so I'm not going through there. And, potholes messes with your suspension, damage your tires, and who knows what else. Just a hazard that I like to stay away from. But yeah, this bike's a 1396cc Suzuki Intruder VS Intruder, and it's a 2001 model. They've had these bikes around since the early 80s. Been a popular bike, and they really haven't changed much. A lot of customization has been done to these bikes by owners and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of aftermarket parts out there for them. This bike basically just has Vance & Hines aftermarket pipes, or $600 exhaust pipe. They came with the bike when I bought them. Only thing I added was K&N air filters, jet kits for each of the carburetors, and changed the oil and the fluid. Tranny and the engine oil are the same oil. It uses it for both. And then the gear oil in the back for the drive shaft is the only other thing I had to change. And then I went through and drained all of my master cylinders for the clutch. The clutch master cylinder is hydraulic, and it's got disc brakes front and rear, and those are all hydraulic and have slave cylinders attached to them. So I drained everything out on those and put brand new clean oil. I had to bleed them all out, which gave me a little trouble the other day. But anyway, we're cruising along here. Still going east here on Business 83. Getting closer to 1015 down here. I'd rather take the business roads than I would the expressway. There's too much stuff going on the expressway that can happen. At least here, you know, you're running a little bit slower speeds, and most people are traveling a little bit slower. But you still got to keep that peripheral vision going. Make sure sure that camera's still on me there, because I've got it strapped to me, but I don't have a way to actually strap that camera to the harness right now. It has different attachments that came with it, but none of them are made for this phone. They're made for like GoPros or any type of phone that has the little screw attachment at the bottom of it. So I basically got this phone strapped to that harness with a couple of thick rubber bands, which seems to be working out. It's still on me. I figure having it sit up against my chest like that, it can't really go anywhere. I mean, it can fall down, but it can't. Wind pressure or nothing like that's going to affect anything. These stoplights here, this motor on this thing is not like some of these newer motors that's liquid cooled. This motor particularly is air cooled on the front cylinder and oil cooled on the rear cylinder. And it's got a small oil cooler up front, just behind the forks, in front of the front jug. And I went ahead and changed all that oil and the oil filter the other day. I'm gonna check my fluids here in a little bit, since everything's starting to mix up a little bit. But whoever owned this bike before me seems like they didn't do a lot of work to it at all, or any type of maintenance at all. So I went through the whole bike and did everything myself. Saved a lot of money doing it that way. I've been working on bikes like these for quite a few years, so take the carburetors apart and stuff like that, and have no problem doing that, and knowing what I'm doing as far as putting in jet kits and getting everything set up so that they have a little bit smoother performance on the throttle. Got a windshield coming, hopefully here the next week or so. As you can see there on the center of my handlebars there, I've got another mount right there, and that's a mount for a GoPro or any other type of camera that uses that little that whatever size that screw is, 8mm, that screws into the bottom of the device. I'm planning to use that. The only reason I don't have the camera on there today is because when you mount the camera there, all you get is the road view, and I wanted to have a little bit of the motorcycle view because it looks cooler, I guess. But anyway, we're still going through traffic here. It's getting pretty busy on this side. 1015 is a major road, and you got Airport Drive out here. It's highly immersed in traffic here. I'm not sure what's going on with that, why there's so much traffic going on here, but there it is. Pick up some speed here a little bit. There's a subway back there. I didn't even know there was a subway. I knew we had one on the other side of town, but I guess we got one there too. There's a McDonald's way down here also that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and a Burger King too. I think the Burger King's still there. I used to have an Arby's also, but the Arby's kind of shut down. Doesn't make any money, I guess. The business shut down. I kind of liked Arby's. Anyway, we're getting a little bit closer here to 1015. We'll start seeing a little bit of Mercedes. 1015 is actually the demarcation line between Wesco and Mercedes. They call it International Boulevard. And that's a nice road cruising north. You can take that all the way into Edcouch and get into some back roads up there. We're pulling up to 1015 here. We're going to go ahead and take a right turn. And pull in there. No traffic. Everybody's stopped. Just add a little bit of throttle here and take off. See, right here used to be the old bowling alley. I don't know what's there anymore. I think it's a skating rink still. They just built a brand new bowling alley just a little bit further east of me there, right off the expressway. But you know, we're passing this way. There's some barbecue places here. They got that Ranch House Burgers place there. It's pretty good. They got another barbecue place over here on the other side. And you got the Pioneer Seed factory or whatever they call it, processing plant. And, Dollar General's out here in the middle of nowhere. And then just to the right there, to the east, is a church there that I used to go to and help out with sound and stuff and the worship team. I used to like going to that church. Got no comment on why I don't go there anymore, but things happen. There goes a little boy in blue, heat passing by. I got the sheriff's deputy cruising on by, keeping under the speed limit. There's your Pioneer Seed production plant. Thing's been there for years and years and years. but it's about 2 blocks behind my house. Goes all the way west towards where I live, and it's called 18th Street back there. But over here, I'm not sure what the street's called. It still might be 18th, might be something else. This crazy guy in this Mustang over here was tailgating me here a minute ago, and he finally switched lanes because I slowed down on him. But he's been zooming around here on the throttle too. Starting to open up into some pretty nice country here. Most of this area right here just goes straight south to the border into Progresso. And, the international bridge down here in Progresso, and then there's a golf course down here, and you might not be able to see it, but there's a big giant twisty up here. Check, make sure that camera's still on you. But yeah, there's a big twisty up here that just does a big backwards S that I like cruising by on. It's about one of the only other twisties around here that I know about. There are some more that are up north, and there's Valverde Road that's further west of here, over in Donna area. And it's been a pretty good ride so far. I really need to get the suspension on this bike set up. I'm not sure if the rear shocks are just shot or what. This bike's 13 years old, maybe a little older. See about getting some brand new shocks, not too bad. 50, 60 bucks will get you a brand new set of original shocks that are on the stand. You can get some progressives that are a little more expensive, around the $100, $150 range, but they give you a much, much better ride. But I'm not too worried about that. I think a lot of the ride has to also do with there's that twisting we're coming up on. And this brings you all the way through past the golf course, around this little twisty, and what they used to call Relampico. We used to ride our 10-speed bikes out here and go fishing right up on that dirt road just there on the left, and there's a little lake back there. I'm sure the camera's on me still. I'm getting up to some speed here. But I used to go fishing there when we were kids. From my house to where we're at now, you can imagine how far that is already. So we used to take shortcuts through the back roads over there on 18th Street. We'd ride our 10 speeds all the way out here and go fishing in the summertime. And we got this truck coming up on us here. Some kind of a farm vehicle. And he's not budging, so I'm going to do a little lane splitting here in a second. There we go. Cruise on by. Don't want to get run over by those huge tires. Splitting off here. See that road there? That goes 1015. That'll get you all the way to Military Highway. That bypasses the town of Progresso, which is on the U.S. side. But I'm going right through downtown Progresso here. I really don't like cruising through Progresso for any reason, because their police station is right here coming up, and we've got the school right here in the police station. Never know, might run up on a cop who just happen to see a unfrequent biker flying by and happen to think I'm an outlaw and just pull me over for no reason, getting some of that flack. But the station's up here on the corner. I'm probably just going to pull over here in a few seconds and do an open driveway or whatever I can find around here. And there's a police station there to the left. And there's no smokies out there today. They're all parked. It's too hot, they're probably sitting under a tree somewhere. And you got the Progresso High School there. But yeah, I'm probably just going to pull over here to some little area if I can find an open driveway. Yeah, there's a car wash over here. It's crazy, there's this kid right now. He's like walking across the street really, there he goes. He was walking across the street really slow and just staring at me. He kind of gave me a little nod. I guess he thought I was pretty cool. Might not see too many bikers cruising around here as much, but was eyeballing me. Problem was, he was taking his sweet ass time going through that, crossing that street right there. Anyway, we gotta wait for some traffic here to pass by. It's about 5 or 6 cars that are cruising by on their own little time frame here. I guess I got nowhere else to be. But heading back north there, passing by the police station one more time. Get the heck out of Dodge here, in case one of those smoky decides to come out. Say hello, for no good reason. Get some acceleration going on here. It's kind of a rough road. It's paved, but it's got some rough areas on there that are too good for motorcycles. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, on the ride on this bike, I gotta check and see if it's a shot. I'm thinking it's more along the lines of the tires. I need new tires. I need a new front and rear tire. I'm order these here pretty good. Get a couple of those Shinko 777s that are out there. They're a little bit more performance-rated tires. Their tread pattern's a little more aggressive than a regular touring or road tire. This bike, the tires that are on this bike, if you know how to read tire dates and stuff, they're printed on the bike here, and on the tires themselves. These tires were produced in 2001. If you heard me earlier, this bike is a 2001. So if you can understand what I'm trying to say there, is these tires have been on this bike since the day it was built or put together, and they haven't changed it. This guy here's not moving. Come on, get going. There you go. It's like he wasn't sure, like he was waiting for me to go, which is no, I'm not going to do that. Because he'll decide to go at the last minute and make that decision, and then I'm sitting on there outside the cage here. There's some problems. Anyway, we're going to throw some throttle out here. Get this bike going. I'm hitting about 65, 70 miles an hour there. If you listen to that motor, you can hear it. I do my best to do really smooth shifting. I see a lot of bikers out there. They crank that throttle and then they blip it when they're shifting. I don't understand what that is when they do that. There's really no need for that. If you know where the sweet spot is on that bike and what RPM range is, you don't have to blip that throttle at all. Unless you're going really slow. But I mean, if you're at speed like I am right now, you can blip that, keep that throttle right where it's at, and shift through the gears no problem. If your transmission's good, all your friction plates and all that stuff are in good order, you should be able to fly through those gears without having to blip it. But I've seen a lot of videos of other bikers where they really physically blip that throttle as they go through all the shifts, and I don't understand why they're doing that, but it's something that they learned, I guess. Anyway, we're flying back through the curve here by the golf course. The golf course is on the left there on the other side of the trees. This is a really wide twisty. It's nothing that's where you need to get over and lean right or left at all, but there's the golf course right there. And the tee shop, and you can see all those poles up there with the netting to keep the balls from flying over into the street here. The highway, and fly by that. Yeah, if you've ever been out there on a ride on a motorcycle, you pass by a semi-truck, that thing will suck you in as far as the wind. It creates a wind vortex off the back, and that thing will suck you towards it. And that's a dangerous thing, so you got to try to stay away from them semi-trucks, especially on the expressway. And if I were to head out to Military Highway, those semi-trucks are flying by 70, 80 miles an hour. And they tend to create that wind vortex in the back. Your bike tends to want to get sucked in towards it, so you got to kind of fight that a little bit. Anyway, we're getting into Wesco here a little bit. We're still on the south side. Running up against all these orchards back here. A lot of the south side of Wesco here used to be orchards, especially out there where I live. When I was a kid, all that was orchards owned by farmers, I guess, that grapefruits and stuff like that. And as kids, we used to go running through there. Yeah, all this area, right up in the Rio Grande River, which is less than 3 miles behind me now, where I went and turned around, the actual checkpoint, the border, was less than half a mile, maybe even several blocks. You just really can't tell. If I ride out here at night, you can see all the lights. It looks like a big giant city lit up. Okay, I'm going to take a left turn here. I'm coming up on the Pioneer seed production facility here. They got a bunch of big giant bins out there. I guess that's what they keep all the seeds in while they're waiting for them to be processed inside the plant there. But yeah, this is 18th Street in Weslaco. Since I'm on 1015 or International Drive here, which is the demarcation line for Mercedes and Weslaco. One side is Mercedes, one side on the left side is Weslaco. I'm not sure what because I know here on the right side that road turns into I don't know, Woodcrafters Lane or something like that, and then it turns into some road that the church named Road of Truth or something like that in Spanish. Yeah, there's a nice Mustang there with a student driver in it. Be something to roll up right behind him and crack the throttle a little bit, make him nervous. But yeah, this road I'm gonna turn left here on, heading back, is what's considered, like I said, 18th Street in Weslaco, and that's what it turns into right here. And it's a rough road. There's a lot of potholes on this road. And there's a little restaurant here called Nana's. This is real good. They got lunches and stuff like that. I haven't been there in a while, but man, they are good. Anyway, we'll get cruising along here. This is a nice road to cruise on, other than it's got some potholes and stuff like that. It's kind of wide open, but it does get you back into town and right behind my subdivision. Like I said, there's a lot of orchards out here. And, a lot of open country out here. Still got some of these orchard facilities here, processing all those grapefruits. Good stuff going on there. I used to go back into these orchards when we were kids, the ones closer to my house, and pick whatever we wanted. The prized possession back then, because we'd always carry a little salt shaker with us, but the prized possession back then was a valley lemon. We'd go find some place that had valley lemons, pick them off the trees, and eat those all day. Alright, we're coming up to a stop sign here. I'm not sure what this road is. It's mile something or other. I've never really traveled it. They built a brand new a little convenience store, one of those drive-thrus here several years back. I've never been in there to buy anything. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but I guess they seem to get some business because they've stayed open for 3 or 4 years. They've been there. A lot of this area, like I said, is just open land and orchards. This is a 2-lane road, so you got to kind of be careful and watch what's going on here, because you get somebody that's looking at their phone, especially at night. They're sleeping. I don't like going down this road because they're not looking. I mean, they're preoccupied with their phone or sleepy or something like that. But yeah, we're getting into here. This is just to my right, this is Pine de Palm, I believe. Is it Pine de Palm? No, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyway, this is my grandma. Had a trailer. My grandma and grandpa had her trailer for years. This trailer park here. It's a real nice place. They got a really nice bullpen. I used to store one of my RVs back there when I used to have an RV. They got the whole place decked out, looked like a fort as far as the front entrances and stuff. It's real nice. Anyway, we're going to blaze through that intersection there, gain a little speed here. I got this guy in front of me here who's just taking his sweet time. I wish he'd get out of the way, but he's seems like he just wants to take his sweet time. You don't really want to pass here. I mean, legally you can't, because you got that solid yellow line on my side. You really don't want to pass, even if you could, because, like I said, you'd have to gain some pretty good speed before you get to the next stop sign. There's a school coming up here on the corner. I never went to this school. It's an elementary school. I think one of the kids did, but you got stop signs every mile or so out here, and you got to really get on the throttle if you're going to pass somebody. It's just not a good thing to do. I'd rather just not do it, because somebody pops out of a side street or something like that, didn't make a quick decision to do so, and then you end up with the bike wheels sticking up in the air and bones sticking out of your side of your arm. Who knows? Anyway, this is, I don't know what street this is. It might be Bridge, might be Airport. I'm not sure. See the sign over there without my glasses, but taking off here pretty quick. Got a little bit of 4-way traffic. There's some of those bumps there I was telling you about. Little potholes, especially if you got some little tires. Those potholes will get you. Cruise along here. bin that they sold. It was like $100 a month, and I was able to fit 2 cars, and I had 2 entrances, one from each side. Got some new apartments here on the left also. They just built them real nice. Apartments are getting expensive. They make them really fancy, but then there's not a lot of square footage in there. Okay, now we're coming up on what's called Texas Boulevard, or FM 88. Here in Wessico, we're basically right behind my subdivision. They just built this Walmart, neighborhood Walmart, I guess is what it's called here, about a year and a half ago. It's been real convenient. I mean, they have a Dollar General just down the street there. I used to go there a lot, pick up stuff I needed, but now they got this neighborhood Walmart and they got everything. Yeah, everything's a little more expensive though because of the convenience, but it's nice to have, you know, within a minute of my house. Don't have to go all the way north of town, and I don't like going to the Walmart north of town anyway. It's kind of ghetto. I don't know why. It just seems that way. I'll usually hit the Donna Walmart, which is brand new, or the one in Elsa. It's brand spanking new Walmarts out there. One in here in Wessico's kind of got too many people going into it. Ghetto's the right word for it, but that's the way it seems. I'll go in there. Anyway, we're coming up here behind that neighborhood Walmart now, basically right behind my subdivision. Turning down, so this is a nice road here. There's no twisties here, but there's a nice little levee. If you go fast enough, you can go over that levee and get a little stomach turn like on a roller coaster. Just keep going down the road here. End up coming up on Border Avenue. Some more orchards back here. A lot of these orchards you see here on the right were been here for 30, 40 years, and most of this area here was populated by these grapefruit orchards all the way back into where my subdivision is, and then they cleared all that out and made some, you know, homes in those areas. And sometimes I wish I could uproot one of those grapefruit trees and watch out on this corner. There's a lot of gravel on there, and there's some of these guys coming off the road on the south here. See, I kind of take that wide right there because of that. There's a big patch of gravel right there on the side, and all the gravel gets pushed over into that corner. So I kind of took that wide. No smokies around, so big giant bump there. They're doing something with the road here. I don't know what they did. I think they were digging in lines or electricity or something. And they patched up some big patches there. I need to flatten those things out a little better. See a truck up here on the corner doing some work. I don't know what they're doing. Working on something. Looks like they're digging. Anyway, we're coming up here on the John Knox Village again. Take a little right turn into 14th Street and heading back home. They used to come and trim those palm trees. I don't know what the deal is anymore. The subdivision owners, after the dad died, they kind of been lax on it. They used to come trim those palm trees every 3-4 months, make them look real nice. Now they just, the bottom dead, I guess leaves or whatever they call them, branches just falling in my yard, and I gotta throw them out of there every day. Always 1 or 2 that ends up falling on the ground into my yard, and I just throw them over the fence, let them deal with it. Anyway, we're back here at the Casa. Hope you all enjoyed that ride. If you guys got any questions or comments or anything, just go ahead and shoot me a line there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel there. And we'll have some more videos here probably in the next, try to do one every week, maybe every couple weeks. Get some good rides going. We'll have some, I usually ride solo because nobody else wants to ride. Got a couple of guys I ride with, but one of them's got some medical issues, and my son's always working, and he likes riding with me or not. Oh well, we did some rides last week, and my other brother rides, so we'll get some stuff going here. Hope you all enjoyed that, and we'll get some more rides later. Thumbs up.